Welcome to Wealthy Living New Mexico. I'm your host, Marissa Morgan, and today I'm joined by the team of Kiehne Wealth and Retirement founder Shawn Kiehne and Tyler Kiehne, who's a financial consultant. Today we're talking about Medicare. It's an important part of retirement planning, but choosing the right Medicare plan is a lot like choosing a cell phone plan. There's different coverages, there's fine print you need to read, and how do you know if you're choosing the plan that's going to fit your needs? Well, today we're going to break that down and help you determine what plan might be right for you. Nice to be back with you, Shawn and Tyler. It's always so much fun to work with you on these shows.
Yes, same, vice versa.
Last week, we dove into some top concerns that people had about moving forward into retirement, and we talked a little bit about healthcare. So I think talking today about Medicare is something that a lot of our viewers will get a lot of value from. So let's start off very simply with the problem. And the problem is Medicare sounds simple until you have to choose the right plan. Tyler, why do so many people feel overwhelmed when they first look at Medicare options?
Because there's so many options. I mean, you got A, B, C, D, E, F. Like you can go all the way to every letter. Like there's so many different types of plans. Each one does different things. Each one covers you in a certain way that maybe this one doesn't do. Another big thing that's causing a lot of confusion is, hey, my friend has this plan. I want that one. And then you hear online that this plan is better than the other one. And you hear all these people talking about all the different plans that they have and what you need to do. There's so many different opinions on it that it can just be overwhelming, and you get overloaded with information, and then you get paralysis by analysis because there's just so much getting thrown at you. And I think that's the biggest reason that people are concerned about it. And it's fair. You need to be concerned about it. It's a big, big, big piece of your life. And that's the main reasons. It can be complicated, but it can also be really simple when you work with the right people.
Well, today we're talking about choosing the right Medicare plan for you, but did you know Medicare is just one small part of your entire retirement plan? How ready are you for retirement? That's a question I want you to ask yourself right now. Would you like to find out how ready you are? Would you like a score? I can score you right now. We actually have a free tool. You can go to kiehnewealthquiz.com. It's right there on the screen, or take out your phone, even easier. Scan this simple QR code with your camera, and that will take you right to the quiz. The quiz takes maybe a couple minutes, 3 minutes or so, and it's actually going to score how ready you are for retirement on a scale of 1 to 30. Take that quiz now as we continue this conversation, and I'm going to tell you what to do once you get your score in just a moment. Let's simplify Medicare, and I'll let either of you kind of chime in here, but what are the big
Works basically like your regular health insurance. They have networks, HMOs, PPOs, all of this alphabet soup, right?
Yes, it's insane.
And it's, but what comes with that is if you, for example, if you are on a Medicare Advantage plan and you want to go out of state to get a second opinion, maybe from a specialist in another city, a lot of times that's considered out of network, and you're going to have to come out of pocket with that. So again, Medicare is very complex. It's a lot of decisions to be made, and that's why it's important to work with someone like on Kiehne Wealth, we have an entire Medicare team that's headed by Tyler, and they can walk you through the whole process and see what the best fit for you is and kind of cut out the confusion and just help you.
Right, help you have clarity. Would you say that people often have a hard time, Tyler, choosing Medicare because the choice is very individual? I would assume it would depend on your health, your finances, your budget, your lifestyle. I've heard that if you travel, there's maybe a better option for you.
Yes.
And I think, you know that show Home Improvement where there was that guy over the side of the fence, always you'd see his hat? I feel like you touched on this at the beginning of the show. People often just pick something because they heard that's what somebody else has. Yes. But walk us through why it's such a personalized plan for everyone.
Yeah, totally. So people choose plans, and there's a great Medicare brokers out there. I'm not knocking them in any way, but they choose a plan at surface level, and I think that's the problem. Your Medicare, specifically your Medicare plan, has to be coordinated with your income plan. It has to be coordinated with your taxes. You don't want to trigger any IRMA charges, and for anybody that doesn't know, that's an income-related monthly adjustment. If you make above a certain threshold, you have to pay more for Medicare premiums, like Part B premiums. So those need to be coordinated with your income, your taxes, like everything I had just mentioned. And I think that's the biggest deciding factor there. Is your Medicare choice in line with your health needs, but also in line with the plan for the rest of your life? It needs to be aligned with what you want your retirement to look like. If you're a traveler, if you love to travel, a supplement might be better for you because a supplement isn't tied to those types of networks the way that an Advantage plan is, but a supplement's more expensive. Okay. So if you can't afford a supplement, maybe we need to adjust what you're trying to do in your retirement and maybe take some more income, less income. You know, it all works together in unison. And it's simple when you understand it. I always say this, the scriptures teach that you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. And once you truly understand what Medicare is, it's very simple to understand. There's two sides. You have original Medicare at the top, that's A and B. And you can either fill in that gap, have a lot more freedom, have a lot more versatility, but you pay more. This is Medigap, this is supplement. If you want cheaper premiums, lower dollar cost, go with an Advantage plan. It's a bit more inexpensive. You're still gonna have deductibles and things like that, but you're not gonna, a lot of times there's no upfront premium for those. But there's a trade-off. You have the networks, you have to sometimes get approval for certain, procedures or whatever, but it's all dependent on the person's needs, health-wise and financial-wise.
Well, I think what you just started touching on is what happens when you choose what is a great thing to dive into next. What happens when someone chooses a Medicare plan without understanding the costs or the trade-offs or the coverage limitations? So we're going to talk about that next. But if you are approaching a time where you are eligible for Medicare. It could be this coming October when there's open enrollment. Maybe you are just ready to retire and are now eligible, or gentlemen, the age is 65.
65.
When you're 65, you're eligible for Medicare. If any of these things are relevant to you and you'd like some help understanding your options so that you make the best choice for what you need, not what your aunt needs or your neighbor across the fence needs, this team would love to sit down with you, explain all the options, and help you put the perfect plan in place for you. If you would like some help, the number to call is 877-697-6236. Take a screenshot out or take your phone out, take a screenshot so you have that number, or write it down or plug it into your phone right now under Kiehne Wealth. Give the team a call today. They will personally sit down and meet with you. And if you took that retirement readiness quiz and you were shocked at your score, this team can help you with all the facets of your retirement. And we'll talk more about that in a minute, but give the team a call, get some help with your Medicare. And when we come back, what happens when you choose the wrong plan? We're going to break it down. We'll be right back.
You didn't pay your taxes last year. I'm here to collect.
In retirement, Uncle Sam is always there. Want to remove Uncle Sam from your retirement?
Hi, I'm Shawn Kiehne with Kiehne Wealth and Retirement. Market losses aren't the only risk in retirement. One of the biggest and most overlooked could be the tax bill on your qualified assets like 401ks and IRAs. As tax rates change, so does the value of your retirement income. A Roth conversion may help reduce your exposure and create more predictability, but timing and strategy matter. Want to see if a Roth conversion could be right for your plan? Take the Roth conversion quiz today. It's free and could help you make a more informed decision about your financial future. Scan the QR code or visit kwealthrothquiz.com to take our Roth conversion quiz today.
Welcome back to Wealthy Living New Mexico. I'm your host, Marissa Morgan. Today we're talking about how Medicare is a lot like choosing a cell phone plan, right? You sometimes don't know if it's the right plan until you need it, right? So that's really what we're talking about today. And I'm just going to take a moment and acknowledge that so many people just called in during that short break. A few of them actually had a question about something that's happening here locally. So I think let's switch gears for a moment. And I want to answer the question that was posed about a certain company recently, locally here in New Mexico, who had some policy changes related to Medicare. Do you want to speak to that, Tyler?
Yeah, a lot of people might already know about this. I know this company's made a lot of people aware of this, but a huge Medicare provider in Albuquerque, I'm not going to name drop, but it starts with a P, they're dropping a lot or almost most of their Medicare plans. And we know statistically that's about 30,000 people are going to be, without a Medicare plan going into 2027. And so that's a problem. And that's a problem that needs to be addressed as soon as possible. And we have open enrollment coming. It's around the corner. It'll start soon. But we need to start having that conversation as soon as we can, because if you're not covered and if you have this coverage by a certain pretty big company in Albuquerque or across New Mexico, starts with the letter P again, you need to get similar or better coverage than you had with them. And we can absolutely help you do that. I know this is, like we just said, so many people call, and it may be a concern for you. If you don't know where to go, don't know who to ask, or you're concerned whether your plan's going away or not, give us a call. I'd be glad to help you and go over everything with you.
It's a big concern here locally. And if you are watching this show and actually you're not here locally in New Mexico, Albuquerque area, don't let that deter you from also getting help, choosing the right Medicare plan for you. Shawn shaking his head, yes, this team is happy to help you no matter where you live. So the number on the screen is the number to call to get in touch with this team. And before we did go to break, I mentioned that this is just one piece of the retirement puzzle. But there's also income planning. Let's see if I can name all the parts of a retirement plan. There is taxes that need to be prepared for in retirement. There is Social Security, an estate plan or legacy planning, the Medicare piece. Those are 5 things. What else?
Healthcare.
Healthcare.
What if something goes wrong?
Long-term health care. Wait, does Medicare cover long-term health care?
It does not. So if you are confined to, or need assisted living, any sort of long-term care, Medicare does not cover that.
Sorry, I felt bad. I cut you off, Shawn. You were saying something. I'm all like, does Medicare cover long-term health care?
No, that's a great question. And a lot of people are under the misassumption that it does, and that it doesn't cover long-term care.
Wow.
Well, I'm not going to need long-term care. I'm never going to go into a facility. My kids are going to take care of me. We've heard it all. But yes, like you were saying, and thank you to our viewers, we have people not just in Albuquerque, but from Farmington, Las Cruces, Clovis, Las Vegas, New Mexico, Santa Fe, all over, Ruidoso, giving us a call. We can help you wherever you are in New Mexico. not just with Medicare choices, but like you said, putting that whole plan together, because retirement is just a different phase in your life. Think about it. You spent the last 30, 40 years putting your head down, working, saving as much as you can, and probably very little thought was given to, okay, once I retire, what is the best Medicare plan? How do I and when do I claim Social Security? How do I set things up tax efficiently so I'm not overwhelmed with taxes during retirement? How do I prepare for an unexpected health event? All of those type of things are what we help our clients do. And I always say this, for those of you viewing out there, I'll ask you the question, how many retirements are you going to plan? Most likely, just your own, right? That's the value we bring, is working with someone. We get the privilege of planning hundreds of retirements in New Mexico every year. So we know the potholes in the road, what to look for, what are maybe some different, unique strategies or ways of doing things that maybe someone hasn't sat down with you and educated you on. That's what we are. We're educators at heart. We're not salespeople. We believe if you know the right options and all the options on the table, someone puts those out on the table for you, you can make better decisions for what's best for you, whether it's Medicare, taxes, income, all of those areas that we help our clients navigate through in this new area of your life, this new time in your life. And you've worked hard. You only get one chance at getting retirement right. Work with someone that knows all of these areas and how to coordinate it for you. Let us do the worrying for you. You go out and enjoy your retirement. You go play golf, visit the grandkids, all that kind of stuff. Travel. And knowing someone, you have a team, you have a partner that has your back, that can coordinate Medicare, all of this stuff we're talking about for you into one cohesive, we call it a unified wealth and retirement plan. So we look forward to meeting with you. There's no cost. Come in, have a cup of coffee with us. We get feedback all the time. Wow, we love it how you guys are just so down to earth and no pressure, and you keep it easy to understand.
You guys are the best. It's so much fun to talk with you.
Thank you.
And I don't mean to take the floor from you, but I want to make sure that everybody realizes who's watching everything that Shawn and Tyler are sharing today, all the planning, all the tools, all the resources, all the help, it's all within reach. And all you have to do is call the number that's on the screen. That's the direct line to their appointment. The gal and the gentleman that help book the appointments at their office, someone kind, friendly will answer that phone call today. You guys together can coordinate a date and time that works for you to come into the office here in Albuquerque. But if you're not here in Albuquerque, that's okay. You can also set up a virtual appointment, and this appointment will have no charge. And you'll walk away with a written plan for how your retirement can do all the things that Shawn mentioned, allow you to play golf, be with the grandkids, all that good stuff. We're going to take a commercial break just to give everybody a chance to call in. But Tyler, I want you to prepare. In the next segment, I want to do a rapid fire. What happens when people sometimes choose the cheapest Medicare? Does it become more expensive later? What are some of the bad things that can happen if someone doesn't get professional help picking the right plan? So get ready for that rapid fire question and answer. For those of you watching, give the phone number a call now. I know Tyler and Shawn will personally meet with you if you call during today's show.
What do you think your biggest retirement expense will be? Healthcare? Housing? Maybe inflation? The answer might surprise you. It's actually taxes. I'm Shawn Kiehne with Kiehne Wealth and Retirement. And if you've got a tax-deferred account, like an IRA, a 401k, not all that money belongs to you. Uncle Sam is your silent partner. So how do we keep more of your savings? Start with our free tax calculator at kwealthtaxtest.com. Just plug in a few numbers and you'll get a snapshot of your potential tax bill. We'll help you build a plan to protect your savings and give you peace of mind through retirement.
Hi, I'm Tyler Kiehne with Kiehne Wealth Retirement. You know how much you've saved for retirement, but do you know how much the IRS will take? Required minimum distributions, Medicare surcharges, and Social Security taxation could all chip away at your income. A Roth conversion may help reduce future surprises, but only if it fits your specific situation. Want to know your true tax exposure? The better you understand your risks, the more options you have. Scan the QR code or visit kwealthrothquiz.com to take our free Roth conversion quiz today.
Welcome back to Wealthy Living New Mexico. I'm Marissa Morgan here with the Kiehne family of Kiehne Wealth and Retirement, local here in Albuquerque. I want to thank you all who called in and scheduled appointments with this team. You're going to be so happy you did. There's nothing better than having clarity and getting some peace of mind to know that you're making the right decision when you pick the Medicare plan that you do, because once you pick that plan, you are stuck with it for a full year. So you want to make sure that you pick the right plan the first time. Before the break, I mentioned we're going to do a little rapid fire and break down the pain points. What happens when you pick the wrong plan? So Tyler, why can the cheapest Medicare option, cheapest dollar-wise, sometimes become more expensive later?
Most times it's because those cheaper plans, a lot of times they're Advantage plans, they come with high out-of-pocket costs. So if you need the care a lot more often than you anticipated, you're going to have to pay a lot more out of pocket. They basically have higher deductibles that you have to pay, and that sometimes those max limits that they have on the plans can be pretty high sometimes. And so if you're just going with the plan because of cost alone, that could actually cost you more. And that's one of the main reasons of choosing a inexpensive plan.
It's kind of like you get what you pay for. And a lot of times
yes.
in these shows, I say with retirement, you also get what you plan for. So make a plan for the future. And oftentimes, Tyler, is it true that healthcare needs often increase as we get further into retirement and as we age? Isn't that true?
Yes, that is very true. And that's why it needs to be reviewed every year. You need to think about, okay, where am I at today? Where am I going to be at 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and 12 months from now? This is a decision that has to be current and future. You don't want to think 10 years ahead of time because you can switch your plan on an annual basis.
Okay.
You want to think about 6 to 12 months in advance. And of course, there's things that can happen where, unexpected, but you want to plan within that time frame and that gap or that period of your life, I should say.
Yeah, for example, if it all depends on your current health status, if you're anticipating needing a lot of upcoming surgeries with the rehab and the physical therapy that goes along with that, a Medicare Advantage plan, with a Medicare Advantage plan, you're going to be paying for each visit. So things like that will help us determine, like, okay, someone in that situation I just described, probably a Medicare Advantage plan isn't the best fit for them. Other things that I ran into a gentleman a few months back that told me a story. He was in Europe. He traveled a lot. He didn't know that he could pick up a travel plan to go along with his Medicare, and he had a medical emergency in Italy and had to be medically evacuated and flown back to the United States. That was not cheap.
I can't even imagine that.
There's things like that pop up that, like Tyler says, that's why it's important to have someone looking out for you, someone showing your options, and you choose what you feel is going to fit you the best. But how do you know which is the best choice or best option if no one's sitting down with you to educate you?
Last question then, before we dive into how do we pick the right plan? What are some Medicare costs that people actually don't realize until after they enroll? This is kind of like reading the fine print. Well, like, what about prescription drugs or dental or vision care?
Yeah, those drug, dental, vision, hearing, those are kind of add-ons to certain plans.
Like an a la carte menu at a restaurant,
yes,
huh? Okay.
and we're kind of getting into the weeds here a bit, But to keep it simple, dental, vision, hearing often comes just with an Advantage plan. Those are oftentimes included into an Advantage plan. A lot of times they're not included in a supplement plan. So it can be beneficial to have an Advantage plan in certain ways, but it's also beneficial to have a supplement plan in some ways.
Right.
Drugs, does your Advantage plan cover your prescription drugs? Are the prescription drugs they're covering the ones they covered last year, they're covering them this year? Things change year by year by year. If you have a supplement plan, you need to add a drug plan to that.
Okay.
And some people say, I don't have prescription drugs, I don't need it. I can tell you story after story of people who ended up using it and it just ended up benefiting them and having coverage for it. Yeah, you may not need it right now. 6 months from now, you may need it. And it'll save you a ton of money by just having something like that in place.
And one thing that I want to stress is now is the time. We're coming up on open enrollment, which I believe starts October 15th. Now is the perfect time to give us a call, talk with our Medicare specialists like Tyler and other people on our team, where we can walk through, review your current plan. You may have a great, perfect plan and there's no need to change it. But like Tyler says, life changes, things happen. That's why it's important. It doesn't cost you anything to come in and have your plan reviewed. What if there was something better? When would you like to know about it? For most people, it's now.
I love when you say that because it's true. And you don't have to go at planning for Medicare decisions alone. You don't have to go at planning for retirement alone. I like when Shawn says, how many retirements are we going to plan? You and I. Let me point to the right people here, right? You at home and me. We're going to plan one, probably ours. But Shawn, Tyler, and their team here locally in Albuquerque, they plan hundreds, if not thousands, of retirement plans a year. So who are you going to trust more? I know I want to retire and be happy and not worry, especially not worry about my medical coverage. And I know that you want the same. So in order to get some help with Medicare or any part of your retirement plan, don't wait. The number on the screen is the number to call in and just schedule a free conversation, a free appointment. You can do it in person, through Zoom, or even a phone call if that's what works best for your schedule. Don't wait. We have open enrollment coming very soon, and maybe a Medicare conversation is the first conversation you can have about the future and other parts of your retirement. This team handles it all: taxes, Social Security, planning for wills, trusts, and your estate. Retirement is the opportunity to go out and enjoy life. So let them do the worrying so that you can do the enjoying. New Mexico, we love you, and we look forward to seeing you back here next week. Until then, keep on wealthy living.